Okay, so today we're going to be going over or comparing two Kirby vacuum cleaners. We're going to be comparing the Legend II, the one on the right, with the Generation 5, the one on the opposite of the right. What's that? Left. There we go. Yep, I'm very smart. So the reason we're doing a G5 is I don't have a Generation 3, but a Generation 5 is very similar. All Kirbys are very similar. But basically what we're comparing is the older style, like this one, to the newer style, like this one. The Legend II ran, I believe it was from 1989 to 1991, and the Generation 5 ran from, I think it was 97 or 98 to 99. They're very different machines. The machine that replaced the Legend II was the Generation 3, which is more or less like this one. I'll put a picture. They just did styling changes for the most part. The Legend II was the last version of the Kirby to feature several things. Or not feature several things, but not feature several things. This is a standard push-only machine. These wheels are free turning, and it has no TechDrive Power Assist transmission. It also is the last to feature this old style mini Mtor. The, what do you call this? Generation 5 features the new style mini Mtor, and the TechDrive transmission. You can see the neutral and drive positions there. TechDrive Power Assist features, provides 90% of the power you need to push the machine, so that is quite nice. However, there is a drawback we'll get to in a minute. Both machines are very well made, and Kirby, as I say, all modern appliances are junk. Kirby vacuums are different. I'm not talking about their sales tactics because I know that they're kind of shady for some people. They're independent dealers, not through Kirby. Anyway, the machines themselves are absolutely incredible. I think they're a bit overpriced. I would not pay nearly $2,000 for a vacuum cleaner, but you can get one like this or like this. Really, I think I paid $7 for this. I think I ended up paying $75 for this. I bought it on eBay. I really wanted a Legend 2. A lot of people say that the Kirby Legend 2 was the best Kirby ever made because it was made before TechDrive, and it still uses the modern type filter bags, and you can put the new HEPA bags in here as well. I just don't have any of those. All Kirbys use the same belts. These two machines use the same bags, which means that they're going to have the same filtration. They both use very similar brush rolls, which I will flip them up on end to show you. Ooh, my Legend 2, I need to clean that. Anyway, this machine gets used a lot. Like every day. Anyway, the brush roll's the same length. It's a wooden roller, and it has two rows. One row there, and 2 rows of brushes. Same with this. One row here, and the other row there, and you can see they both have the same pointing, and they're both the same wooden rollers. I've seen from airflow tests that the Legend 2 still has better airflow, but not by much. The performance is going to be about the same. The Generation 5 has a more powerful motor, but the more powerful motor is for compensating the transmission, not extra cleaning power. So, which one would I recommend? It depends. The Legend 2 looks better. If you ask me, it looks better. It's red. The other one's red too, kind of. I'll show you. But this just looks like a classic Kirby. It doesn't look cheap. It looks good. It says Kirby on the bag. The bag is made of better material, and the top is a hard plastic. Whereas this one just looks, I don't know why, but it just looks a bit more generic. Instead of Kirby, it has that to show that the belt lifter moves. It takes a different type of light bulb, which is harder to get to and harder to replace. It does say Kirby. The bag is made of okay material. It's not poor quality by any means, but it's definitely not as nice as the material on the Legend II. Also, it's held up by a plastic strap, or not plastic, fabric. The other thing that really bothers me, or doesn't really bother me, but it kind of bothers me, is the handle. So, the way the handle works is or the way the transmission works, we'll start with that, is the handle's held by this, and if I push it back and forth, I'm hoping you can see this, the handle actually moves back and forth in there, and that is what engages it in reverse and forward. So when you're pushing forward, it is moving the wheels forward, and when you're pulling backward, it is moving the wheels backward. However, the handle also feels looser. The handle on this machine is held in like this. It snaps in, and it has a small thing here. Let me make sure you can see that. It has a small area there that it kind of snaps in. Yes. Unfortunately, what did I just press? I just pressed a button. It's still recording. Unfortunately, this leads to there being some play in here. So I'll go ahead and reattach the handle. And it does push in, and you can install it and remove it easier. I'll give it that. However, there's a lot of side-to-side play in this handle. And the Legend II just doesn't have that play in it. On the Legend II, the handle is held in by a pin that goes all the way through, like so. I won't pull it all the way out, but it goes all the way through there. And it just feels a lot more sturdy. A lot more solid, if you will. It moves a little bit, but that's about all that it moves. You can see any more than that and it moves the whole machine. It all comes down to preference. I hate to admit it, but I've gotten used to having TechDrive, and especially on a higher pile carpet, which this isn't really, but it's not like Berber or anything like that. It really is a lot easier to use. Having said that, it does rob some power from the motor, although it's a more powerful motor to compensate with that. I like the look of the Legend II much better, however the performance is about the same. The only thing that really bothers me about this machine is this handle, and they're all like that. So there's nothing you can do about that. Personally, if I could only keep one, I would keep the Legend II. It's a much more solid machine as far as the quality. The quality's not bad on this, it's just put into different areas. Also, this machine, since it doesn't have a transmission, is about 10 pounds lighter than this machine, which is really heavy. So if you have to go up and down a lot of stairs, it's not very good. But single floor house like this with a lot of obstacles and stuff, definitely very nice to have the TechDrive. But also be aware that the TechDrive does require maintenance. It has a belt, it has a clutch, and those two things are known for wearing out. This machine, I don't know if it's ever, I would say it's been serviced because it's got a service sticker on the top of it. But really, I can't tell you which one to get. That's the thing. I have all of them, but if I could only keep one, it would be the Legend II. In fact, if I could only keep one Kirby out of all the ones that I have, it would be the Legend II. I still think it's the best Kirby ever made. One other thing that I don't like. So they came out with this new style Mini M-Tor. This one turns this way. It's got a handle, and it turns this way, as opposed to this one, which turns this way. Supposedly the new one has better airflow, but let me show you something. I'm gonna dismount the camera for this. Because this is a problem I've seen on all these. I've had a Centria, I have a Generation 4 that currently has this problem. I'm probably just going to use it for parts. Somebody tried sanding it with sandpaper. This is the old style Mini M-Tor. Now what this is for, if you're unaware, whoa, is it goes up into the bag, right? So if you pick something up like a screw or a penny or earring or whatever, it will stay in here so you can dump it out. The airflow is not too much better on the new style. Not enough to call it any difference. This old style one, as you can see, it's kind of a thick, heavy plastic, and it's got this metal ring in here where it snaps onto there. And this is all one piece, so it's not going to break no matter how many times you take it on and put it off of there. Whereas the new style one looks like this. It's got some crap in there I can kind of demonstrate. See, there's a screw and stuff. It separates, it doesn't go into the bag. Anyway, this newer style one, it is easier to, well, not really. It's a little bit easier to remove and put back on because it's got a handle under here. But this is a lot thinner plastic, and instead of being one piece, it's two pieces. You can see the seam there. And this one, see the crack? There are clips here, here, and on the bottom, but there's no clip on this end. So it gets onto here, and then if it gets pushed down or whatever, it'll crack. And I've seen several of these that are cracked, and I was able to glue this one. But I much prefer the style of the old Mini M-Tor. Of course, going real far back onto the old Kirbys with the shakeout bag, the M-Tor had a latch on the bottom, and you'd slide it open, and then you'd shake the bag out. That was before they used paper bags. Anyway, I can't recommend one of them over the other one. All I can tell you is my personal preference goes to the Legend II. The performance, the quality, the longevity, all that's about the same, besides for having to take in the G5 to have the transmission serviced, or the whole machine serviced, but that includes the transmission more often than the Legend II. But they are both absolutely wonderful machines. Any Kirby's a wonderful machine. Go to a thrift store if you can buy one for under $100. They're wonderful machines. And they're versatile too. You can. Everyone says that it's such a big hassle to put on the hose. Okay? I'm going to grab the hose real quick. I'm going to dispute something. I was arguing with somebody. They said something about, I think they were talking about rainbows. They said, these are the best vacuums ever made. It's like, no, I think Kirby's are better. They're like, oh, the filtration sucks. Well, I just proved that wrong. I sucked up some ashes with a rainbow and it spits them out. But one of their points was the Kirby being very heavy, which these older ones aren't, the newer ones are. But the other point is, oh, it's so hard to put on the hose. Nobody's gonna do that. Here's how you put on the hose. Watch how quick this is. Okay, there's the hose. Alright, here's what you do. Did I get the wrong hose? No. Okay. There you go. Hose is on. Okay. Let's put the nozzle back on. Oh, that's got to be the difficult part, right? There you go. Is that really that hard? You're going to tell me that a rainbow is easier to use. So, every time you want to use your vacuum, you're going to fill up that tub full of water. Then you're going to take it and put the hose on and vacuum up, da-da-da-da-da. Then when you're done, you're going to dump that water out, and you're going to rinse out the tray. And I know those trays are difficult to rinse out. I have a rainbow. It's not practical at all. Furthermore, and it's just a canister only, it's not an upright. But you're telling me that every time you use the machine, you're going to fill it up with water, you're going to rinse it out, you're going to basically probably have to use another vacuum cleaner to suck the dirt out of that thing because it's got a lip around it so you can't pour it out. That's easier than pulling this out, vacuuming your carpets. Then when you're ready to use the hose, you put the hose on, right? It's not rocket science. Yes, there are a few steps to it, but it's not difficult and it's not time consuming by any means. Then you go around and you suck the hose, you use the hose. Then when you're done with that, you can either leave the hose on or you can put the nozzle back on. And there you go. Every once in a while, to change the bag, you unzip it, you pull the bag out, and you put a new bag in. You only have to do that about once every couple months or so because these bags are large. And these machines are very versatile. You can use it on the carpet like this with the brush roll running. You can turn the brush roll off. There you go, safe for hard floors as a straight suction machine with no brush roll. Use it as a hand vac. You can put the small handle on it, which I'll admit is kind of stupid. You can use it as a carpet shampooer, or you can put the hose on, which is incredibly easy. Yes, it might take a couple more steps, but there you go. That's the hose. There you go. That's the floor nozzle. Is that really that hard? No, it's not. So, no matter which Kirby you pick, the Kirby is the best vacuum cleaner ever to exist. Best vacuum cleaners ever made, and even the new ones are still good, so you know the old ones are even better. I like TechDrive. I've gotten to where I use this newer one more. But I still use the Legend II, and it's still a great machine. Yes, an old Electrolux is great. The filtration's not as good. You can't put a HEPA bag in there. And they're canisters only. And I know you can get a power nozzle for the canister, but I don't want to drag around a canister, honestly. Anyway, I hope this video was somewhat useful. I kind of went on a rant. I didn't end up comparing the vacuums as much as I hoped I would. But really, I can only compare them. I can't give a solid answer, although I can do something real quick. So this is a very unscientific test. Very. But I have both machines, the brush rolls turned off, and have them butted up against this Fresca bottle. I'm going to raise the nozzles all the way on both machines. Remember that the brush rolls are off. And I'm going to slowly pull away both machines. First one, then the other, and we'll see which one holds on to the bottle, if either of them. Both pressing against the bottle. Legend II. Hold on, the G5 isn't turning on. It's because, I know why, it's because I didn't put the mini inter back on properly, and it's got a safety switch. There we go. Okay, both machines are back in place. Camera frame is in. Legend II. Okay, so as you can see, neither of them win. One pulled it one way, then the other pulled it the other way. Basically, they're about the same power, just pure suction power. Agitation depends on which roller brush you have on it. So, yeah, they're the same, pretty much.